On today's show, the art of Adipose. A boat built exclusively by hand for fishing moving water. A vessel of Montana mountain life.
People are passionate about outdoor equipment. Get this, Americans spend more than $20 billion a year on gear. But no one ever really sees how their stuff gets made.
Well, that's where we come in. Each week, we throw open the factory doors and give you a behind-the-scenes look at how your favorite gear is made. Made for the outdoors.
A rush for gold long ago put Helena on Montana's map. These days, the natural world keeps the capital city hopping. A region born of both mountains and moving water. Out on the edge of town, this small manufacturing facility, the place where they are building big-time memories. Just look for the license plate.
We're in the trout mecca. We're in the drift boat mecca. Like, this is the heart of drift boat country.
Drift boats. Vessels long honored and mostly oar-powered, built to drift and fish rivers.
This boat is made for one thing and one thing only, and it's to be the most ergonomic and fishable platform to get you on more fish. We've built a monster here and we're trying to contain it.
Justin Weinberg runs Adipose Boatworks, a sudden piece of Helena's outdoor heritage.
We're lean and mean. We got 15 people, and 15 people do all this. Right now we're a full year out on boats, and it's pretty amazing.
Adipose, a boat build that starts with a bin of perfectly stirred paint.
I think he's doing it wrong. He's just getting ready, making sure the nozzle's right. Here they go.
Blair Ogle covers a polished and waxed mold in exacting fashion. A process that takes just a couple of minutes.
I'm checking the thickness of the paint. I want it to be at 18 to 20. Make sure we don't get any runs and navigation and such.
While he paints, Cale Fry cuts.
This whole list right here is all the pieces that we put on a drift boat.
Cale preps fiberglass for each boat.
Cutting these big rolls of fiberglass down to size and rolling them up and labeling them. So this is the transom piece. I just make sure they have all the different parts they need.
Now,
All right, you ready?
Team Adipose can move in union. Watch this. A ballet of sorts as Blair adds a mix of fiberglass chop and resin. The team follows closely behind, rolling and squeezing out every single air bubble. They diligently add several layers of both chopped fiberglass and sheet fiberglass.
Methodical. This is all about timing before that resin kicks or starts to cure. Gotta go. Gotta work as one team. You notice the hands behind the backs? That's by design. So the new guys don't put sticky fingers on the boat.
Just make sure you're getting this on the bottom so it's coming down right here.
Meanwhile, behind them in the back of the shop,
Takes a lot.
Kyler Stewart's crew builds all the boat's interior parts.
So every piece
that you would traditionally see with a storage compartment or something like that. They're built individually instead of on one big mold.
He's building from scratch.
Yeah.
Wow.
All the lids and everything get made down here. Your foot brace, both your front and back trays, your under storage, your rod trays. This is a rod tray. Just a lot of finesse, time, effort.
So let me illustrate. That will eventually become this once it cures, right? Which will eventually go into the boat and become this. You got it?
Up next, dried resin leads to handiwork. Lots and lots and lots of dusty handiwork.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Warner's Dock, Aquarius Home Services, Spire Credit Union, Ice Castle Fish House and RV, and by Keystone Light. Keystone Light, always smooth. Celebrate responsibly.
Drift boats. Vessels born of moving water. The work of Montana's Adipose drift boats.
The way we build it, we build them a boat for a lifetime. Every little teeny detail, there's nothing that goes unnoticed and untouched by us.
With the hull fiberglassed and individual components built. Tyler Stewart pops parts off the molds.
That's finished product.
Pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot.
Now it's time to build the boat. Tristan Peters fits and levels all the parts that go inside the boat.
We add each part one by one, glass it into place, add another one, glass that one in. So right now we're putting in the rod trace, which is what this big piece is called. And all we're doing right now is we're leveling it to where we can bondo it in, which is the greenish, grayish hardener that we put on.
All this work finally leading to the last little edge cover.
We're real sticklers on just making sure that front to back, that all of our lines in the boat, that everything matches up great.
Which is why I gear up,
I don't even know what I'm dressing up for.
but I'm about to find out.
So see how the direction of the fiberglass goes this way? So you got to roll with the direction of the fiberglass.
We roll these small fiberglass cakes.
Roll back and forth until it's all let out.
Small pieces used to help lock interior boat parts in place. Lots of sticky fingers as each patch rubs into place. I roll along too.
I'm pretty sure Lyle's gonna have some touch-up work on this one.
I've got another problem.
So I got an itch. What am I supposed to do?
Buck up, everyone else in here does. Part of the mission of Adipose.
I came from the Army. I spent 6 years in the Army. I deployed to Iraq in 2008, 2009. And got done with that and found Adipose right when we moved out here. I was sweeping the floors in the beginning. I didn't know anything about anything. Was lucky enough to have great mentors and those founders, Mike Ward and Tracy Allen, that taught me everything they knew about not only fishing, but boats and boat design. Just being a veteran myself, I really strive to hire veterans. that brotherhood just brings us all a little bit closer together.
We're about to hook up air to our air ports in the mold, and then hopefully it'll just release from the mold and pop right out. And that was fairly easy.
The hull looks complete, but really this boat remains a long, long way from done. Straight ahead, a bit of back-breaking work as sanders strike a pose.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Thorough Good Boots, Alex Pro Firearms, Casey's, Guy Metals, and by Russ Davis Wholesale.
Montana's slogan is the last best place, and we're living it.
Such is the good life at Adipose Boatworks, until boats get to this room. A room of toil and straight up grit.
Basically, right now I'm sanding all these gunnels and then sanding good enough to get a pencil line on it.
Nicholas Hartwig gets to work on initial sanding.
This is the start of a very long sanding process for them.
He grinds out all the rough edges and spikes. Just enough so he can lay a straight edge to cut the gunnel.
I can't see from over here. I hope he's getting it right.
When I get down to here, I'll come back and trim that end off because it'll start flapping and it'll rub against the paint.
First one, we do a quick sand before we paint it, and then we paint it, and then we do what our final sand is with the first layer of paint on there.
The boat actually goes through a couple of rounds of paint, sand, paint.
And then from there, it'll go back into the sanding room, get sanded the whole boat over again.
But in the end, the final thing that always happens is a hand sand.
Yep, the job of Austin Oates and Andy Groff.
Every boat's different.
Glove on, and they'll sand, and then they'll check it with their raw hand, and just, again, ensuring quality. Every nook and cranny that you would never think of.
This is such painstaking detail work. And I want you to notice, there's a point where they actually take the leather glove off. That's a big point here because they are feeling to make sure it's just right. Can't do that with a thick glove on.
Once smooth, the boat now sits ready for final paint. Well, almost.
You can probably use a 2X.
Even the XLs are a little tight on me.
What we're doing is we're spot painting the little pinholes. What we're gonna try to do is we're just gonna get a little paint on our brush.
And just seal that till those holes disappear.
Yep.
A small but important detail.
Just to try to seal the boat as best we can.
And make the interior look perfectly clean.
Come double check my work, make sure I'm not screwing this up. You realize you're building legacy stuff, right?
When I can see a boat that I most likely built and drive down the road and know that it's gonna be around for years of fun. It's definitely cool to think about it.
Oh, look who's back there fixing all my work.
I just missed a couple spots.
Only now can Team Adipose finish up with final paint. That's my sense of the boats. When they're done, they look quite simple.
Yeah.
But you get in here and start seeing all this, uber complex.
Yeah, complete opposite of simple. Yeah.
We'll let the paint dry. When we come back, an Adipose finally earns its name, and this boat leads to an autograph.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Casey's, Aquarius Home Services, Ice Castle Fish House and RV,
Clean lines of a drift boat. Perfection to the eye and mind. But before an Adipose gets to this point, the boat moves from fiberglass over to James Atkinson's nook.
I do the fine tuning and the final product.
James takes freshly finished boats and performs the unthinkable. He cuts and drills into fresh fiberglass.
Started out in 2015 at our lower shop and started up here. And it took me 2 months to kind of figure this all out.
James installs all the boat's final parts and pieces.
This is the seat box, the rower's seat box lid. These are the hinges.
Door hinges, anchor guides, all the shiny new stuff that completes a drift boat.
There's a new sense of pride in it. Big time. Usually about 2 days is the going rate right now for a boat. And once these are done, this outside, then I crawl in the boat.
Only now can this boat earn its most important piece of the complex Adipose puzzle. A task left exclusively to James.
But when it comes down to the logo, a lot of the time in my book, that's where it becomes, it's that person's boat. 2 stickers per boat. Last 4 or 5 years, probably 400 or 500, 400 boats easily, we'll say. Bam, logo for you.
Like that, another drifter joins the Adipose family. But you know what? They never last long.
Does one come back? Check it out.
Yeah,
Whoa.
see it.
She is. Yeah, it's pretty special to see these things come from nothing to where they are, and just to watch the customers come in and look at their boat for the first time and just be so ecstatic about everything.
I love this.
Justin walks new owners through their new boats. Then, one small Adipose ask.
So every person that gets a brand new boat get to sign their name. Some people draw a picture, some people write a little phrase.
Cute. Love it.
It's one of the highlights for the pickups for both us and the customer. I think it's pretty cool.
I love it. It's beautiful. Can't wait to get it on the river.
We're such a small operation where from the first phone call to the final driving away with the boat, we get to be a part of all of it. It never gets old.
Helena might be Queen City of the Rockies, but Adipose these days looks to be the king. Together, we celebrate a riverboat built in the truest form of both function and adipose art.
Knowing that I put in the time and the effort to build something that somebody can take out on the water and enjoy. Seeing boats and stuff like that get built here in a little small town is kind of cool. Being a part of it's definitely unique.
If you live in Helena, you live here for the outdoors. It's you, the boat, the water, the fish.